Just 2 years ago, ChatGPT seemed unstoppable. It reached 80 million users in just 2 months and became the fastest growing application in history. But something dramatic happened in late 2025. 3 powerful new AI models launched within weeks of each other, and now the race for artificial intelligence supremacy is fiercer than ever. Today, we're breaking down the models actually competing with ChatGPT and why the era of one dominant AI is officially over. Google's Gemini revolution. Google stepped into the ring with Gemini 3 Pro in November 2025, and results were shocking. This model boasts a million token context window, equivalent to reading a 400-page book in one conversation. Imagine uploading an entire year of financial records and asking the AI to identify patterns. That's what Gemini 3 can do. The model uses native multimodality, processing text, images, and video in a unified way. Rather than treating images as separate inputs, it understands them in relation to text and data, creating cohesive understanding. On reasoning benchmarks, Gemini 3 achieved historic scores that positioned it as the world's most intelligent model. Researchers uploaded datasets and videos, asking for pattern analysis across all content at once. Product designers showed mock-ups alongside customer feedback and received improvement suggestions based on both. Integration with Google Workspace made adoption natural for teams already using those tools. The seamless connection with Gmail, Docs, and Sheets reduced friction in switching. Anthropic's Claude takes the coding crown. Anthropic's Claude Sonnet 4.5 emerged as a coding specialist developers couldn't ignore. On real-world software engineering benchmarks, Claude achieved a 77% success rate fixing bugs in production codebases. That's 7 to 10 points ahead of competing models. Developers found that Claude could hold conversations about code for hours, remembering context and building solutions incrementally. The model supports 200,000 tokens of context, allowing developers to load entire repositories and ask sophisticated questions about architecture. Software engineers shared stories about Claude catching security vulnerabilities that human reviewers missed. What sets Claude apart is its focus on safety and ethical reasoning. Companies in regulated industries like finance prefer Claude because of its transparency. The model uses constitutional AI, trained to align with human values and decline harmful requests. Tech pioneers found Claude's approach to tool use remarkable for complex agentic tasks, where the AI must plan and execute multiple steps autonomously. For researchers and content creators, Claude's ability to process lengthy documents and extract nuanced insights made it the preferred choice for deep analytical work. Elon Musk's Grok enters the arena. When XAI launched,
I don't sort of look at things from what's the rank ordered list of priorities based on
Grok 4.1 in November 2025, it brought something no other model offered: real-time access to what's happening on the X platform, formerly Twitter. Grok had a 2 million token context window, the largest of any publicly available model. It could track extended conversations across dozens of messages while maintaining coherence. Journalists, marketers, and social media strategists gravitated toward Grok because it understood trending topics and public sentiment as they happened. Unlike ChatGPT, which operates on months or years old knowledge, Grok accessed current events instantly. Breaking news analysis, viral trend monitoring, and competitive intelligence became possible with immediacy other systems couldn't match. The model demonstrated exceptional performance on mathematical reasoning and programming challenges. Grok's tone differs markedly from ChatGPT. Where ChatGPT maintains professional neutrality, Grok brings personality and wit to conversations, appealing to users who find other assistants too robotic. The pricing strategy caught attention. Grok costs significantly less per token than competitors, allowing budget-conscious organizations to deploy advanced AI at massive scale. For companies needing millions of requests monthly, this translates to millions in savings. Early adopters found Grok's combination of real-time data reasoning capability and affordability invaluable. OpenAI's response and evolution. OpenAI wasn't sitting idle. In response to competitive onslaught, the company released GPT-5 and GPT-5 Pro in late 2025. These models featured adaptive reasoning, automatically determining appropriate thinking time for each task. On mathematics benchmarks, GPT-5 achieved 94.6% accuracy on elite competition-level problems. For software engineering, it scored 74.9% on real-world tasks. What made GPT-5 revolutionary was efficiency. The model performed better than the previous O3 model while using 50 to 80% fewer output tokens. This matters because faster responses mean lower costs for users. GPT-5 Pro extended thinking even further for the most demanding problems. The model's hallucination rate dropped significantly, with fact-checking showing roughly 80% fewer errors compared to earlier versions when extended thinking was activated. OpenAI also introduced GPT-4.5, focusing on emotional intelligence. The model demonstrated superior understanding of human nuance, interpreting subtle cues in conversation that other systems missed entirely. This innovation opened new possibilities for applications requiring sensitive, empathetic interactions. The releases showed OpenAI understood competitive pressure and was innovating aggressively to maintain relevance. The technology behind the competition. What's happening under the hood reveals why competition benefits everyone. Traditional language models work sequentially, predicting one word at a time. The newest generation can now reason, plan, verify their own work, and iterate before responding. Some models employ reinforcement learning, where human feedback teaches the system to improve over multiple iterations. Others use specialized techniques like retrieval, augmented generation, letting them pull information from databases dynamically rather than relying only on training data. Multimodal processing, where models understand text, images, audio, and video simultaneously, has become essential for top-tier systems. Google pioneered this with Gemini, but every major competitor is now catching up. The context window arms race is particularly intense. Larger context windows mean models can remember more information and process longer documents, but they require more computational power and cost more to run. Grok's 2 million token window allows it to maintain conversation context across hundreds of exchanges. Meanwhile, specialized techniques like parameter efficiency, the competitive pressure has accelerated research into these architectural innovations exponentially. New breakthroughs in model compression and optimization are released monthly rather than yearly. Market impact and user adoption. The effects on the market are already visible. ChatGPT held roughly 75% of all AI assistant usage. By early 2026, that share declined to approximately 55%. This isn't because ChatGPT got worse. Rather, different users discovered different models fitting their specific needs better. Software developers gravitated toward Claude. Social media professionals and journalists chose Grok. Researchers and analysts preferred Gemini's multimodal capabilities. Organizations aren't choosing one model anymore. Instead, forward-thinking companies are adopting multiple models in a coordinated strategy, using each AI's strengths for different purposes within their workflows. Financial services firms use Claude for regulatory compliance documents while using Grok for real-time market sentiment analysis. Tech companies pair Gemini's visual understanding with Claude's coding prowess. Marketing teams leverage Grok's social media expertise while using ChatGPT for general copywriting. This shift represents a fundamental change in how artificial intelligence integrates into business and creative work. The monopoly era is definitively over. Competition has democratized advanced AI access. The implications and what's next. This competition is accelerating innovation at an unprecedented pace. 6 months ago, certain capabilities seemed years away. Today, they're available in production systems that millions of people access daily. Pricing is dropping dramatically as competition intensifies. The average cost per token has fallen by 50 to 70% in just 1 year, making advanced AI accessible to organizations that couldn't afford it previously. However, this expansion brings new challenges. As these models become more capable, questions about alignment, safety, and ensuring they behave as intended become more critical. Regulators are watching closely. The field is entering an era where capability is no longer the only measure of success. How reliably a model works, how transparent its reasoning is, and how well it handles edge cases are increasingly important differentiators. We're also seeing specialization emerge as a dominant strategy. Instead of pursuing one monolithic model that does everything adequately, companies are building specialized versions optimized for coding, reasoning, creative writing, or real-time information retrieval. This mirrors how the software industry evolved decades ago, with dedicated tools for different jobs, rather than one generic application. trying to do everything. The artificial intelligence landscape of 2026 bears almost no resemblance to the ChatGPT-dominated era of 2023. Google's Gemini redefined what multimodal intelligence looks like. Anthropic's Claude proved that ethical alignment doesn't mean sacrificing capability,